All right. And hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Refold podcast. This month, I'm joined by Kevo. And Kevo, why don't you introduce yourself? Tell us about your relationship with language learning, your background, the app that you're developing, and the things that inspired all that.
Yeah, so I'm Kevo. I'm building Coupling. Coupling is a language learning app for people who are in a relationship. So it's actually specifically for couples who are multi-ethnic and want to learn each other's languages. And for myself, I started learning Cantonese because back in college, I was neighbors with this girl who turned out to be my became boyfriend girlfriend, and I decided to, for some reason, just start to learn Cantonese just for fun, just to pick up some phrases. So that's fun. Like I could learn like I like you, or I can speak a little bit of Cantonese. Uh, and from there, I started listening to podcasts, and I was learning kind of really just on my own for a long time, despite me being in a relationship with my partner. Her name's Heidi. And that continued. We got married. We've been married for about 10 years. So throughout the process, I started learning Cantonese and a bit of Mandarin off and on. I used, towards the end, I started using Anki a lot. So with the way I was learning, I was using Anki. I had dictionaries by my side. I was creating my own flashcards. I was just picking up flashcards from wherever. But when I was learning, I would sometimes, try to show what I was learning, and sometimes it's like, this is not how we say it, or this is like archaic, or this is wrong. So like it kind of casts a light, like why am I learning a language on my own, which is very mistake ridden, when I have a partner right next to me who can guide me the whole time on the way. So that's what inspired Coupling, specifically a language learning app just for couples that want to teach and show each other's languages and to grow closer to each other in the end.
Okay. And how does coupling work? So, I feel like it's been partially inspired by like Anki. I think there's some SRS in it and things, but walk us through it. Explain coupling.
Yeah, from like a Anki, if you're a Refold listener, you know what Anki is. It's kind of like a multiplayer Anki. It's Anki, but your partner can add flashcards for you. They can create recordings, create sentences. So create personalized flashcards, keep track of each other's progress, motivate you. And how coupling works more specifically is there's a giant word list. So I think there's like 500 word packs based around topics or skills, and you just choose what you want to learn, and then your partner will go in and they'll personalize it for you. They'll check all the translations are correct. Everything's kind of pre-filled with AI and machine learning, so they just have to check if it's right, record their audio, record the sound of their voice, and they can create personalized sentences for you. So instead of learning you know my favorite animal is a dog, maybe your favorite animal is not a dog, like these cookie cutter sentences, you can learn sentences that are personalized specifically for you. So let's say I like basketball. The sentence can be like, I like to play basketball, even if I'm injured. So it's like very relevant to my life, and more likely or not, those sentences will come up day to day. So to answer the question in the end, it's like, yeah, at the base there is SRS, it's Anki, but with a lot more features, audio, images, recordings, ability for a collaborator.
Interesting. And does the collaborator have to be like there with you in person?
No, that's like a good point. That's a beautiful part, is it's asynchronous. So the problem I had when I first started was I talked to a lot of other couples before I actually started building, and people tried lots of different things to learn languages from each other, because it's actually a pretty common situation to be in. Like your partner is from a different country or speaks a different language, and you just want to learn their language for obvious reasons. Like language is a key into their community. It's like a marker of cultural membership, or you just want to learn just to get closer to them, because if you don't know their language, there's a whole side of the partner that you're not really aware of. It's like language defines how you think, how you speak. So I touch a lot of different couples, and what some people have tried is like total immersion. So it's like when we get home at 6 p.m., we're just only going to speak this language, Chinese, and this is like to a total beginner. And you can imagine how, or maybe you can't imagine, how would that work? Like, you don't know the language, and then you're just barraged by this language you don't know. You can see how easy it is for people to burn out. Yeah, so that's why I made it asynchronous, because there's no pressure, and there's no live pressure. Like you feel safe like messing up because it's at different times. And the synchronous part comes in maybe day to day. You decide just to like throw out a phrase just for fun, and they correct you, and then or not, and it's fun just to practice day to day synchronously.
Okay, so how does it work? Is there one account? Are there two accounts, and then somebody gives access to another person?
Yeah, it's a phone app, so it's available on like App Store and Google Play, and you just right now you both create the account on the app.
I thought
you
it
invite
had a
each
web
other.
app
Yeah,
component to it. Does it
it's been
not?
a long journey. It's been a long journey. Like I started this. I guess I'm not trying to go back. I started this 4 years ago. This journey. So it's been a lot of wandering around trying to find the right solutions. So it used to be a web app. Now it's an app. I guess to get to the question, yeah, you both invite each other, and then you get notifications on how to help each other. The app guides you on how you can help. I guess I should go back to when I started. How I started doing this app is we were on this wilderness trip. It's quite a story. So we were on like a 6-day wilderness trip backpacking in the mountains, and we had just come down from this wildfire smoke that like enveloped us, and we had to hike 3 days out. So 3 days to get back, we had to bail out of our route, and we were just walking, and we had just hiked this mountain, and we had like run out of water. So we were really thirsty. We're just like, we were just looking for any sort of lake. But after we got past that whole ordeal, just to pass the time, my partner Hai we just started teaching me random words in like Chinese. So, and that's kind of where it came from. Like, can I leverage this somehow? Like, can she be a mainstay in my language learning journey? Can this work for other couples? Do people have to learn alone, despite your partner being the reason you're learning, their inspiration, and maybe an ultimate guide? You're around each other all the time. And at that point, I came up with the name like coupling. Because ling is like linguistics, and coupling is obviously couples, and also
Joining.
gears. Yeah, joining, and also for gears, like the transmission of power between differently ratioed gears. And back then, I was in the VR space for a long time. I had a startup. I had gone through this program called Y Combinator, and I quit that to work on coupling. And how it started as a web app, and it's just been a long journey, just trying different things with different people, trying to find the right solution.
I would encourage you to maintain a web dashboard for the teaching partner. I think that would be useful for sure. We do some coaching at Refold, and then prior to doing the coaching, I taught ESL for about 5 years. And having a nice dashboard where the other partner can look at things, problem words, whether people are actually reviewing what you're making for them, things like that. That's where my brain goes. And I'm a late adopter to like mobile devices. About a year or two ago, I finally got a very nice tablet, 10-inch screen. It's very fast. And I do use my mobile now. I didn't used to. But there's something about just having a web dashboard. And that leads me to my next point. I love the idea of somebody in a relationship helping their partner, because this is really common, like you mentioned, but there's not a good framework for it. It's like, I learned this language as a baby, and I don't know what you need to know. And you're providing them a framework where you can leverage their native knowledge and make it so their partner can benefit, because native English speakers are not the best English teachers, right? They can't necessarily explain things. They just know it. They don't know why.
Yeah.
They know the pattern, but they can't explain the pattern. And I think providing a framework for natives to help their friends, their partners, their lovers learn the language is very beneficial. And the point I'm trying to make is I actually could see this being very useful for language tutors. If you're a language tutor, it's really common you meet on italki or something, and then you guys like have like a Skype chat or a Zoom chat or something, and they give you like sentences, they write down your mistakes and give you corrections, or you say, how do I say this? And they tell you. And putting that directly in somebody's SRS seems really useful to me. Like just from like
Yeah.
a language teacher perspective, that's where my brain goes. It's like, this would be awesome. If I had this when I was teaching English 5 years ago, my students would have made huge gains because I could
Yeah.
ensure that they were getting the notes that I'm writing down for them in the chat somewhere that they can actually take action.
Yeah, those are all like great possibilities. I thought about those as well. Like, and you mentioned like the frustration of not the frustration, but like natives don't know how to teach their own language. So that's like a common thing. If you're just trying to learn without any framework, you're like, why is this the way it is? And like, I don't know. And it can be a source of frustration. So having that framework, you just really dumb it down, like to make it super simple for natives to help their partners. Yeah, it's a great boon. And yeah, tutors. I think I can always imagine like a second side where like this could it could just be for like really just be for tutors. Like it would help like student retention. It would allow the tutor to like keep track of their progress throughout the week. They can come back and see if they learned or not.
And wrangling people and getting them set up on Anki when you have 10 different students a week, if you're doing one-on-one, or if you have a group, you've got 2 or 3 groups. It's not the smoothest thing. Anki, I love Anki. I love that it's free for everything but iOS. Well, I wish it were free on iOS too, but Damien, the developer, has chosen to fund everything else through the iOS app. I don't know. Getting off topic here, but Anki's cool. I love free open source software. Super cool. But it's not friendly. Can you imagine explaining to, like your mom or your dad, like, yeah, you download this app and then it's really complicated. There's all these add-ons and it's super customizable, but you have to learn how to actually do all those things first. It's just not friendly. And I think that giving, if I were still teaching, and I could give my students a coupling sign-on, they download it, I have access to a dashboard and I can see what they're learning, and I can add the things from the lesson or the session into their flashcards. That would have been super useful. That's where my brain goes.
Yeah, it's in my brain too. It's like it's a very strong case because I'm not sure what tutors use. I imagine you just walk into a classroom, talk, and then see you next week. Is that how it works?
There's no real standardization in second language education across the globe. Some people do it through Skype. Some people do it with virtual classrooms. Some people do it in person. It all depends.
Yeah, I have to think more about that. And yeah, for Anki, yeah, it is complicated. Like some people like complicated. Some people love their power tools. It's very popular still. And people like me, like software developers, love it because you can just kind of change every little knob that you want. But then when you think about like pulling someone off the street to use it, it's like you have to create your own templates, or if you want to tweak something, it's HTML. So what I've done is try to make it simple.
To design your card.
Yeah, I try to make it as simple as possible, like, and just have all the visuals like very clean, very simple. And when you for coupling, when you create flashcards, also make that part simple as well. You type in like an English word, it'll do all the auto translations for you. It'll give you a default.
See, if you had well, you're a dev, right? You probably have like a virtual machine. You can run. Do you want to show it? You want to broadcast it on screen? I think we can screen share here.
Oh yeah. Like
I would be
live
show
demo?
it to us. A live demo,
Okay.
yeah. Because I know that Levi Masson, Zephyr,
Yeah, I need
has
to
been
talk
like,
more
you
about
got to
him.
interview Kevo. You got to interview him. And I'm like, I will. I promise. I got sick and I traveled. And then I had like issues with my electronics. But we're here. A month
Okay.
late, but we're here.
Yeah, I'm gonna give a shout out to Levi, or Zephyr. He's been on the podcast before. He's founder or creator of Complete Language Series by Zephyr. It's just 100 or 200 Anki decks for every single language, and each Anki deck has 200 survival words and phrases. And since the beginning, I've just messaged out to him randomly on Reddit about my idea, and then he's just kind of been on my side, slowly collaborating, and now fully collaborating with me. He's created like 600 word packs for me and always give me feedback. So a big shout out to him. And his starter decks, his Anki decks, are also part of the app. So when you get started, you can actually choose these packs and get started learning those. So let
Very
me
cool.
try to present. Maybe I should present my live account. Let me see, so you can see what I've been learning and stuff.
Yeah. Power of technology. You can emulate a mobile operating system on
Yeah,
your desktop
I got an
and then
iOS
share
on
it.
my MacBook, Android on my MacBook. Share it.
Okay, so is the present button working for you?
Yeah, it's I switched over to the live data, so it's gonna take 30 seconds to switch over. Let me just present to at least the loading of it.
Yeah,
Share
present the
screen.
loading. I've never had a guest present before, so I'm hoping it goes smooth. This is uncharted territory for me.
For podcast listeners, will be enrapturing to hear us describing this this virtual machine running. Let's see, share screens. Okay.
And to the people who listen
Oh,
on like Spotify, sorry, come to the YouTube video this time because we've got screen sharing.
oh boy, like lost permission to capture screen. Do I have to change any settings? Is it okay if I reload, or like my recording is gonna get lost?
That's a good question. Your recording might get lost, but I'll have our video
Oh,
editor, Jafar, splice it because he's gonna
okay.
like this background here that you see is actually just like a template. Like he's gonna edit all that out and he can splice it. He works magic. There it is. Okay, first off, I gotta say I like the way it looks. It looks very friendly. I think when a normal person, it's not a very good way to say this. A person who's not heavily into the language learning space, they approach a language, they're like, this is like difficult. They're scared. And when I look at this as just like a normal user, it looks friendly.
Yeah, I try my best. Try to make it. Yeah, that's the one thing I about this app. It's like at least it got
You have
visual appeal.
you have a designer.
Yeah, I'm me, designer.
It's you. Okay, very
Yeah.
cool. It does not look like a one-man operation.
Thanks. Thanks. Yeah, it's a good skill to have if you're a one man to code, but also to design and also to talk to people and get feedback. It's a lot of things to do.
So walk me through this. I see here it's got you and Heidi at the bottom. You've got some grinds, which is a good
Yeah.
reference to coffee, the coffee theme, but
Yeah,
also
it's all
grinding out
cafe themed.
language.
Yes. Little double entendre. So on the main screen is like our progress. It shows like Heidi's investment. She spent like 12 hours putting in time, and I'm about 31 hours. So usually a thing is like when it seems like for every hour the partner puts in, you can get 3 to 5 plus hours of investment. And it sounds like a big number, like, oh, my partner has to like invest so much time. But I actually found I used to like try to offload work from the partner as much as possible, but then you kind of lose like the whole cycle and motivation in the first place. It actually kind of helps to have the partner involved throughout the process. And when they're involved, they're giving time to you, then you're more motivated to learn. And then once you start learning, they can see your progress. They're more motivated to help.
Yeah, it's like a positive feedback loop.
Yeah, and I've seen other users they create spreadsheets like and give their partner to translate like a spreadsheet of like 100 words, and they ask them to translate it and record audio for each word, and then like sometimes they record audio for all 100 words at once, and they go and they edit the audio, and then they convert that to Anki flashcards. So this kind of automates a lot of it. um, so I'll go in like the study session. So that's like a new word. It's got a little animation. These are words that my partner has added. It has her audio, and also has like sentences. So there's like close deletions. If you're familiar with close deletions, like fill in the
Oh
blank
yeah,
type
for sure.
flashcards. Um, there's some features on top of flashcards. You can take notes. You can see like a word by word breakdown of phrases. You can choose a picture. There's like 5 million icons to choose from. So for every word, you can likely find an icon that fits. And then you just kind of go through Anki style SRS, and that's how it is. And let's see, another part to show off is something called Brew. So coupling has vocabulary packs that Levi has helped create. So we have like 500 600 word packs that amount to 5 or 6,000 words. You choose a topic that you're interested in. So they range from niche to basics to everyday objects. Some maybe want to learn about, bathroom
I've
words, so
always
like
been a
bathroom.
fan of thematic vocabulary, personally.
Yeah,
And it makes
especially
a lot
ones
of
that you can
sense,
choose.
for sure. You know, an example I often bring up is one of the employees at Refold, Bree. She's quite good at Spanish, but she's never really been to like a Spanish-speaking country. She's not in a Spanish-speaking household. So all those thousands of hours of reading fantasy books in Spanish, she had the gaps. Like she didn't know the word for coffee pot or teapot. And I think that like sitting down and saying, I'm going to learn kitchen vocabulary, I think that's totally valid.
Yeah, and then it's lovely once that topic somehow comes up in conversation, which is it would like most likely come up because you're the one choosing these topics. Um, so yeah, you choose a topic you want to learn, and then you learn. Your partner goes
And you
through,
make
and
your own brews.
that's like a feature I want to do. But yes, on the roadmap, as I can say, because I can see how that would be useful, of course. And then here's like one that my partner has recently done, just like big numbers. I never got around to big numbers, so like 10,000 million. And then for each one, she creates a sentence. I haven't gotten to this one yet. And here's just my collection of brews I've learned in the past, like camping and hiking. Uh, so words like wilderness, wood, campfire, forest, backpacking. And here's like a like personalized sentence, like we have ultralight backpacks. That's like relevant to us. And well, yeah, what else did I show? Like we can keep track of like progress. There's like of course streaks. There's graphs.
What was the one
And
right
every
before
time,
the graph?
oh yeah, just like a little streak calendar. So like,
Okay, it's like a hit
yeah,
map,
yeah, it's like
heat
a heat
map.
map. Yeah, so each day of the week it goes down vertically, and you can kind of just see like how often, frequently you've studied. Mine should be better, but I've had stints where I just been heads down developing. So
It happens.
yeah,
Okay, very cool. So you're showing off your the deck that you've made with Heidi with Cantonese. Can you show
yes.
me what it would look like from her perspective? Like if I say that like I'm the target language partner here. Can you show me what that would look like?
Yeah, let me see if I can. Do I know her password? I think maybe. I can
Okay.
switch to a different account, or I can get her in here to log in.
Either is fine. Either is
Okay.
fine.
Okay. Heidi, can you log into your account for me? Doing it live.
Doing it live. Okay, you've got Heidi, and then I also saw your coworker hanging around.
I have a code. Oh, my cat?
Your cat, your coworker.
Yes, no, HR, the company. Yeah, can you
Gotcha.
Here's Heidi.
Hello.
Half of
Hello.
the operation. Got it?
Wait, did I have it wrong?
User
I
not
typed it wrong.
My
found.
email
I
wrong.
typed it wrong. All right.
There we go. Thank you, Heidi. Okay. Cool.
Dang, I should
All
have.
right. So now,
Heidi, I should have opened a brew. Make can edit this out, but I'm gonna open a vocabulary pack so that she can fill it out for me. Is that all right?
sure. Yeah.
Okay.
You want me to do now?
Yeah, give me. All right. So I'm gonna choose a
Okay.
topic that I want to learn. Let's go with like everyday living and health, cleaning. Okay. Okay, I'm gonna open this cleaning pack that has like vacuum, mop, detergent, recycle bin. Be useful for trash day. Okay. Yeah. Now Heidi's trying to log in.
All right. Cool. Do you have a brew for holidays?
Yes. Thanks to Levi, he's spent so much time doing brews, even for like holidays of other cultures and stuff.
That's what I was thinking. Yeah, I was thinking you could get really like in there. If somebody's learning Cantonese, they might need to learn the word from Lunar New Year.
Yeah, for sure.
Which may
Which
not
is-
be
I
as
guess
important
Happy
if
New
you're
Year.
if
But
you're
there's like
learning
words like
gong. What is it?
Gong
Gong hei
hei
fat
fat
choy.
choy,
Yeah.
Wish you wealth, prosperity. I hope you get rich. That's what it translates to. Okay, so I'm on Heidi's account, and
Okay.
here's the brew I just opened. So I've activated this. I opened this word pack pretty much, and then she can start just going and filling out. So a lot of it's like AI pre-filled.
So this is the AI pre-filled stuff.
yes.
So that's what the AI thinks cleanup is, and then she can go in and say, "This is wrong," or like, "This is not how I would say it."
Yeah, because a thing with like languages is like there's so many dialects, sub-regions. Obviously, for like Spanish, Spain,
Somebody
Spanish
from-
is very different from
somebody
Mexico,
from
different
Guangdong is
Chile,
going to sound different than somebody
Hong
from
Kong.
Malaysia or Hong Kong. Yeah.
Yeah, and that goes for probably Mandarin as well, from Taiwan, from mainland. So it's good to learn the right dialect or sub speak, because like language is like a key to someone's culture, and you don't want to be like pick up the wrong key. Right?
Exactly, this is the perfect example too. Like you say, clean up in Mandarin, that's a perfect way to say it. But in Cantonese, we'll say a different words.
Yeah.
So I have to like here, even though it's a pre-filled, I have to just go in and change to a different word.
Yes. So for this
So you-
one, it's more Mandarin style speaking it.
I mean, you can say it
Gotcha.
in Cantonese way, people will get it, but they know you're not
It's
speaking
not the
locally.
cool way. It's
Right. It's sort of like the Canto pop songs are all essentially Mandarin with Cantonese pronunciation.
Cantopop. Some, yeah, probably nowadays. It's like even in English, we have even like say Gen Z says things differently, and if you're not saying it the right way, you're not part of that.
So, can you
culture.
show us changing this?
You have Chinese for me to type?
A Chinese keyboard. All right, activate a Chinese keyboard. Okay. Oh, it's over here. Sorry.
I am so sorry, Kevo. I could have totally prepared you for this, and I did not.
More work for your editor, right?
That's right. Okay, so it prompts it, clean up in Cantonese.
Chinese type?
Oh, okay. Well, I guess the Chinese keyboard doesn't really appear unless I
Can you copy and paste then?
copy and paste. All right. Type here. Okay. So we're gonna copy this Chinese word, Cantonese word here. And then down here it gives
Okay.
like AI translation or suggestions and stuff. So, and then you can add notes
And
and
it-
translation.
Okay, and it
Gorgeous.
generates the
That's all.
thing.
Oh.
Oh,
Anyways. Okay,
Perfect.
Daso, right? Then it creates the audio recording, which is it's great to hear. Like from her voice. It makes it more fun every time I study. It's like from her voice. And then there's like AI suggested sentences that she can do. Like we have clean up the dishes. The word is clean up. So it's like they suggested basic ones. Clean up the dishes after dinner. I need to clean up my room. We should clean up the kitchen. Or she can choose a sentence that's like relevant to us.
That's exactly what I'm doing. I'm cleaning up our home
Yeah.
because we're friends coming over.
I'm cleaning up the kitchen while my husband's podcast. So like I guess we'll just go through like, and then you can click one, it'll suggest AI. So you kind of just usually just tap through or tweak it. For the sake of this, we'll just choose this one. And then it'll create close deletion. So it'll try to detect if that word's in a sentence. You can create your own close deletion cards. It makes that process very simple. If the word is not part of the sentence, you can just kind of tap the words that are part of that sentence, if that makes sense. And they can choose an icon. Yeah, that makes sense for you. And this is like the fun part for partners. It's like the creative side. So what you're seeing is like for every flashcard, you got these like dozens of icons that kind of match the word. So for cleaning up, it's like someone picking up dog poop, or this icon, someone's mopping or wiping, and you can just choose whichever one is best.
There's an icon of a horse pooping, which is very strange.
Someone's got to clean it up, right? Or you can type in like broom, if that whatever.
Oh, okay, so you can search
imagery. Yeah.
Okay, very cool. Word association, image association. Now, I do have a question here. The pronunciation, is that auto-generated for the language? Is that also using AI?
Yeah. So for pretty much every language I could think of that doesn't have Latin form, I've developed like Romanizers or transliterators, just patching together libraries. I can find a lot of some of it is like online services AI. So for Cantonese, it uses like Bing, but a lot of them are like deterministic. You can base on the it maps one to one for lots of languages, but some languages like Japanese, you need some kind of like analyzer and some kind of trained neural net library or something. But yeah, for every language, if it doesn't have, like so for Chinese, it generates opinion for you. Makes it pretty nice. Okay. I've never had to type pinyin or yuping. It just kind of does it. And if it's off, because it's like, there's some ambiguity, your partner can clean it up.
Okay, very cool. Well, thank you for the live demonstration. Is that it for the partner side of things?
That's like the main action. You can just add words, one-off words. If you're watching a movie and someone says something.
Can you show the dashboard again? Yes. I'm curious, just from like a language coach, former teacher point of view. So I see your investment here. It's showing the learner, that would be Kevin, 31 hours. Okay, cool. So it shows the learning cards, the master cards, the unseens. And then I guess it's the same thing as what you see on the other end. It's going to show the heat map.
Yeah, so the same stats. Okay. Heat map, progress over time. These are just the basic charts I have now. You can just see my word bank.
It would be interesting for me to see what cards you're struggling with. Because it doesn't necessarily mean that the word is hard to remember. It could be like the card was poorly made. Like I chose a picture of horse poop, and that does not trigger cleaning for you, right? So maybe the broom would have been better. I don't know. These are just things that I think about having been an instructor. That's really cool, though. Thank you so much, Kevin, for the live demo.
Yeah, really put me on the test, but we made it through. Yeah, for struggling cards, there's like a notification that if it detects a leech, right? In Anki, there's leeches. If you
so the algorithm, is it using like SM2?
I don't know the name of the algorithm, but I read algorithms and I just pretty much translate it. I coded it up. It has some like little special tweaks, like a sentence card doesn't appear before like the base
before
card
the word that it's in.
Yeah. There's just other little tweaks like that I felt like based on the data I have, I can kind of optimize it a little bit.
So, what languages do you currently support? I didn't realize that Levi had been helping you so much. And Levi, super language enthusiast, has an army of volunteers. So, I imagine that the library of supported languages must be pretty big.
It can theoretically support every language because you have a live partner. There's no content necessities. The ones I have in the drop down list, I guess I can pull it up. I haven't gone through the work of like making it extensive as much as I could, but yeah, most of the ones at Levi's, 180 languages, all the ones that Google has, plus some other ones. If you come up to me and says like I want to learn this language, I'll add it for you. A lot of more niche ones, like I heard Amharic was like a niche one, or I have like Taishanese, like some sub Chinese ones, a lot of African languages. They're all there.
All right, very cool. Yeah, a lot of interesting use cases for this app. And you started on this journey 4 years ago.
Yeah, there was a break where I took employment for about a year, but it called me back. Like this is like what I feel like I want to do. Not like paid. I'm not paid, but this is like my mission, and I got the conviction to like make this happen. Like a language learning app, right now it's for couples, but that's what I'm focusing on right now. But definitely this tech, collaborative language learning with Anki style flashcards can definitely be taken to a lot of different places.
Okay, and do you have like is there a model behind this in terms of like payment? Like, how do people support the app? Do you do like Patreon, or do you have like a freemium type setup?
Yeah, it's freemium with lots of help again from Levi.
Sure.
Been informing me on anything. It's he steered me away from just like throwing up a subscription. It's more like so every word that you learn, you add cost a bean. So it's a freemium. So for every word that you want to add, it's 1 bean. You can get beans, but just by learning, like by being diligent, you can earn beans for free. Or if you ever run low, you can just buy beans. So there's like a place here you can, for $1,500 for $20, it's 1,500 beans. That's like the highest end pricing tier, which is 1,500 words for $20. Or you can spend $3 and learn 100 words, or collect achievements and earn beans. So like I got like achievements that if you do like there's badges. Learn 7 days in a row, you get 5 beans. Learn 30 days in a row, you get 5 beans. Yeah, so freemium.
Very cool.
It's the answer.
And can the partner buy the beans for the other partner?
I need to tweak it, but you should be able to share beans. So if your account runs low, you'll just pull beans from your partner. So that's how I imagine that. How it should work.
Okay, very cool. Well, I gotta say, Kevo, I'm impressed. I think that there's a lot of potential under here. I like the idea of using AI and then having a person go over it and correct it. I think that's just an efficient use of time. I like that you provide a framework for the non-teacher partner to be able to help teach their partner. Perfect. Yeah, there's a lot of cool stuff here. Like I was saying before we got cut off, it's great using AI to sort of make the workload easier, providing a framework. It's friendly. And it's not. This is something I could see introducing my 60-year-old aunt to. Like somebody who's not a power user, who they don't necessarily need that. I think that's really cool.
Yeah, that's the point. Because like if you're an average language learner, you want to invite your partner, you definitely want your partner to have like a nice, welcome, easy experience. Not saying to say anything about Anki, but like I'm not sure if a lot of partners could like get set up on Anki. So I want to just really make it easier, but have the power still of Anki.
Yeah, even just the idea of like, oh yeah, you can go make a spreadsheet and then you can download it as a CSV and then you can import that into Anki. That is already blocking like 90% of
Yeah,
of users.
the miles that people are crawling to like get this framework set up. I hope I've provided a good solution for that.
For sure. So you mentioned that you started it out as a web app before settling on a phone app. Why the transition?
Want to transition? I think the phone app it has benefits. One is push notifications. That's probably pretty critical for getting people set up and going. So let's say, I ask my partner for a question or ask for a word, then the partner can, get notified on the phone to like jump in. Or when I complete my study, my partner will get a notification. Oh, Kevin did his study. So that's one. And then two is it's nice to have that screen real estate. Like you can have the icon on your homepage without. You can do that on web apps too, but nice to have space on the phone screen so you can be reminded to learn, and just lots of other experience is a lot smoother. You have more control over the experience, like audio recording, like guaranteed to work. It's smoother. Just lots of little things. But
For sure.
I do hear you on the how a web dashboard could be useful. I had the idea like instead of inviting a partner like full on, there could be like you open a pack and maybe the partner you just send the partner a link and that can get their toes wet without having to do the full install, invite process, sign up process. So there's web is definitely good for cases like that, like getting started or sharing your progress, like having a user profile.
Yeah, and is there speaking of user profiles, is it social? These language learning apps like Duolingo, Memrise, they tend to have like leaderboards.
Yeah.
So is there something that says like Kevo and Heidi? Kevo did an hour today and Heidi did 2 hours of making content for him, or like is that in the pipeline?
Yeah, I would love to have that. I'm just focusing on stuff, but like down the line, stuff like, you can invite friends, add content for each other, share content, publish content, see each other's progress. Potentially find a partner. Kind of like Strava.
Cool, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm
Strava,
learning. I'm a native English speaker. You're a native Cantonese speaker. Syncing people would be cool as well, right? Like, matching people.
Yes.
And then that person could go through and.
What if I don't have a partner? I just tell them go tandem, go find one, bring one home to coupling.
Gotcha. Yeah. Okay. A lot of potential here.
It's a lot
I'm
of
pretty
lot of
impressed.
ideas. Just need to grind.
And it's a one-man show. You're the only dev.
I'm the only dev. Yes. With of course
you're also
with
the graphic designer.
With the help of collaborators such as Levi and my partner Heidi does lots of QA and ideas and feedback and stuff. So a lot of support.
Very cool. So, Kevo, before we go, how, is there anything that I didn't ask or bring up related to you, Heidi, coupling that you wanted to mention or that you would have liked for me to have asked about? Any features?
I guess maybe not, but I can give one thing. It's like it's the motivational aspect of language learning is often overlooked. Like we have the tools, right? You can have the best tools, all the content, but would you agree like motivation is at least the top 2 problems of language learners worldwide? So this just really taps into that motivation part, because you're having someone who's helping you and you don't want to let them down, and that positive feedback cycle of them spending time on you and then you want to repay that favor. So I guess one more feature I want to think about is adding more motivational goals. So I read like the 5 love languages. So that's one goal I want. One thing I want to do is like you can set goals. If you do let's say like 10 study sessions, then your partner will wash the dishes, and that's like one. Or they can write a nice note,
Gotcha. I'm
or a
not
hug or something.
super familiar, so I know that. So like washing the dishes would be like acts of service or
Yes,
something.
there's 5 love languages, like words of affirmation, acts of service, receiving a gift, physical touch. So, I think there's one more I forgot, but
There's one
is
more.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, interesting. Yeah, that would be cool. There's a lot of fun ideas here, and I tell you, I know that you've got guests coming over soon, but you're gonna have to get me set up. Refold podcast privilege is I'm gonna have to get set up. You're gonna have to give me some beans, and I want to test this out. I want to play
Okay,
around
for
with it. I'm convinced after having seen it, because I usually do a little bit more pre-research before the podcast. But like I said,
Yes,
I
yes.
traveled, then I had the upper respiratory infection, and then I had like a backlog of work, and then I had that incident where my mic got wet and I thought we weren't even going to be able to record. So I did not do my due diligence. But having seen your live demonstration, I want to play around with it.
Yeah, get started. It's on I'll give my traditional, it's on App Store, Play Store, couplingcafe.com. You can get started, Clayton, and you can use it for students or whatever. That's not really anything super specific to like couples right now that would prohibit you from just using it with just any of your language exchange partners or students right now. So yeah, I'll hook you up with some beans for sure. You get a good amount at the beginning.
All right, cool. Well, Kevo, thank you so much for coming on. You have broken my almost 2-month streak of not recording a podcast. I'm sorry, listeners. Just it's been crazy. It was awesome. We had some technical difficulties. We got it all figured out. I put you on the spot. You did amazing with the live demonstration. Thank you so much. And, who knows? Maybe we'll have another podcast a year or two from now, and we'll see how the app has come along.
Yeah, please have me back on. Happy language learning to everybody.
I want to thank you for listening to this episode of the Refold podcast. If you're watching the live premiere, you're in luck. Right as it ends, we have an after party over on the Refold Central Discord server. Come join us by using refold.link/join and chat about the episode. If you enjoyed the podcast and would like to hear more, you can find older episodes to listen to on YouTube and Spotify. Let us know what you thought about the video by liking and leaving a comment below. Do you have suggestions for upcoming visitors or requests for particular topics? Please feel free to reach out to me on Discord at GeorgePig #5413 or via email at clayton@refold.la. Thank you all for watching and or listening, and I'll see you next week.